Welcome, guys. Today on Six Sips, we have brought in the Chad Hook. He is our operations manager, so he deals with everything that I sell and make sure it gets done correctly. So this is Chad, though. He's been with the company forever. He's a very integral part of what we do and how we get it done. He has trained myself. He's trained Peter. He's trained everybody in the company. Besides David. Actually, he's taught him a lot, though. But we wanted to bring him in here to do Testimony Tuesday, and so I want to actually hand it off to Peter to start off. What project are we talking about? Because we were all there. It's a fantastic project and one of my favorites.
Yeah, this was a big project we worked on. We were doing 5-year internal inspections for a public school system. There were 650 total systems across several hundred buildings in the city. And we completed the entire project in something like, is it 4 months of actual work? We just were on and off, essentially. So about 4 months of actual work, we got this entire system compliant and gave them kind of next steps going forward to kind of do some upgrades and maintain those systems to a higher degree. So what I think is cool about this whole project is we did it while school was in session without disrupting any classrooms. We didn't disrupt any of the learning of the students, but where normally you've got to do certain class like projects, this would have to be compressed into a summertime or a winter break or whatever else. We were able to be in there without disrupting anybody. So I don't want to take any of Chad's thunder, though. So Chad, tell us about your experience with this project, because you were head on this and you were there for all pretty much.
We were just back up.
To piggyback on your point, so we were able to do this while the school was in session. We were able to do this while the system was live. So we have a good example of the benefits of doing your 5-year internal while your system is still live. So we were doing a high-rise multi-story building. It's a wet system, so the piping should be wet. And we're going to be doing the internal pipe assessment, so we should be looking for our wet leak waves inside of this wet piping. We're testing the floors, and the top floor is connected. It's good to go. It's full of water. The pipe's clean. We go down the next floor, and it's in the admin office area. It's 13 stories of a school building that's full of students and full of administration people. And every floor that we started to hit, we were seeing dry signal waves. So we're like, this is the wet system. It should be dry. It's live. So we started doing some further investigation and happened to find out they had some remodels about 3 to 5 years ago, and they never connected the floor piping on the floor control valve assemblies off the stairwells. So they were still doing their normal testing and inspections, but because of the 5-year internal and our way of testing it live and non-invasively, we were able to find out within seconds that they did not have 10 of their 13 floors connected. So they made sure to get that addressed as quickly as possible. So not only do we get them compliant on their 5-year, we also were able to help them get their system live because they needed that system connected on the floor.
That's funny because I think that's one of my favorite stories too. In a sense, it's the reason why I do what I do, because literally that day it was saving thousands of kids' lives. And if it wasn't for a sonic inspection to identify that the system wasn't connected, because the issues, it was being tested for those 4 years or 5 years prior every month. Every quarter, the semi-annuals, and it leans into they were testing the function of the system. They weren't testing the integrity of the system and getting into, hey, what's going on in the system? And so, I think that's a good reason why I love that story.
Chad, out of curiosity, what was so I was there, but talk through your perspective of you in the stairwell you had a wet signal. In the floor, you had a dry signal. How many floors did you go through where you thought maybe it's just a trapped air spot before you realized something had to be going wrong? You went back and looked for that disconnect. What was that like?
It was about 2 floors because it was concerning after the first floor. But I mean, I do see lots of trapped air in wet systems because of just the way they have the inspection test valves, the way they have auxiliary drains, the way they design and fill up systems. It's just kind of part of the course of having a wet system. But these were bone dry readings where it was starting to send off some red flags. So after the second floor, and we're in the stairwell with the wet supply system, and it's full of water. but as soon as you came out onto the floor, it was dry. So I started doing some investigation after the second floor because things just were not adding up, and I didn't want to continue moving on. And we just did a little further investigation and did some pipe chasing, because not a lot of people go above the ceiling in these sprinkler inspections, besides the guys that got to go touch the pipe. And we found that it was disconnected. So we went to a couple other floors, showed that it was disconnected, got our contact with the building and the school, and they were out there lickety
it
split
was so
to get that
fast.
system.
I mean, I remember because he was like, he was 30 minutes away from where we were in this area. Literally got there in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, how did you? Well, and then they had to go right on Firewatch right after that, as soon as, because he didn't believe us. He was like, "There's no way that this isn't connected." And we showed him we showed him the 12th floor, the 11th floor, and one more down in the bottom, and he was like, "Holy cow!" and made that call so fast. I didn't want to be him that day. Nope.
Yeah.
So again, the benefits of our 5-year internal process, we test the system live. So any of these kind of one-off scenarios like this, even our technology will be able to detect an issue that could lead us to further investigations to find out this thing. You go the manual way, you might not catch this because it's a system's drained and taken down, so you're expecting not to see water in a system piping. So there's where our service and benefits will definitely help out.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, Chad, thank you so much for sharing that. I know that is just a very foundational moment for everyone at Sonic, especially that project was just really good for all of us and really getting the company where it is today. And so thank you for sharing just your perspective, what you experienced that day. And just to really summarize in one point, guys, doing the 5 years while active helps us assess what's actually going on within the systems. And that's what ultrasound does on these fire sprinkler systems. And so thank you guys for watching. We will see you guys here next week for another Testimony Tuesday. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Chad. See you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.